marker. Messages are starting to come in. Okay, real quick, you guys that are here, what is the title of the stream? Do I need to update it? And is it registered under art on Twitch? Because if so, then I'm ready to start. Happy Halloween, everybody. Okay, no, that one says good. Playing Pikmin, you know what? I should probably change it to be like a generic notification. Because I haven't been playing Pikmin for like 2 months or something. Music's a little loud. Okay, I can fix that. Okay, how's that? Is that better? I usually have a little Halloween hat. I have a tiny little frilly hat that I like to wear. But I can't find it. It should be in this room somewhere. I looked high and low. But I was like, I don't want to waste too much time. It's already getting farther into the afternoon, and every year when I do these pumpkin carving streams, kids start trick-or-treating before I'm done, and I want to make sure that I actually have the pumpkins out on the porch before it gets too late. And so I was like, oh. No erotic on today's playlist, although I was listening to erotic yesterday. No, we got spooky Halloween oldies. I'm gonna do 3 pumpkins today. Okay, so I think it's time to get started, and I can tell this guy wants to lean upwards. He's got the bottom is not balanced. I need to get the sticker off. The bottom is not balanced, so he's leaning backwards. He's going to be looking up. Come on now. Yeah, nice big pumpkins. Pumpkins. Let's see if I can. I'm going to try to stick this on a sketchbook real quick. I try to collect. I try to collect stickers on all of my sketchbooks. Here's an example of, this is a full one. This one has like a lot of junk on it already, so there's no room, but I can put that on this one instead. I'm just gonna do that, and then start drawing a face. Yeah, the Pac-Man pillow came from, I think it was round 1 we got it. I figured it's spooky enough that I could sit on it today. Okay, actual pumpkin carving though now. Are we centered? It looks pretty centered. I think we're good. Yeah, he's got an interesting shape to him. I don't know how easy it is for you guys to see, but he's like very lopsided. He's very like asymmetrical. one side of him is kind of squished. So let me try to take advantage of that. I know that this year all my pumpkins need to be scary faces. Sometimes I do a variety of different expressions. But what I like about jack-o'-lanterns is that they can be used as a charm to ward off evil, as I always reference in my stream titles. And I think this year is probably a year where we're really gonna have to have our guard up. I really hope that nothing bad happens this year. So I'm feeling round eyes on this thing, but they definitely got to be asymmetrical. So let's do. I don't know what kind of expression. If I want to do round eyes, it's going to be hard to make them look mean. I can make them look like shocking. Maybe I do like this sort of thing with the mouth. I like that one. I could do like something like that. No. What's gonna make it look more ghastly? Does it need like... No, I don't think so. I'm thinking about like a skeleton nose. I do want him to have round eyes, and that can look kind of intimidating. Because he can look really crazed. But... if I'm not careful, I could make him look like cute or silly. I don't want to do that. I hope you have fun, Ninja. Have a nice meal. We got pizza ahead of time. We got pizza yesterday that we can heat up for tonight. That way we don't need to like clog up the streets getting delivery or something like that. Could have multiple eyes. I know what to do here. We're gonna give him mismatched eye shapes. He's gonna have one of those almond eyes here. And a big eye over here. That's pretty good. I really want to give him a pupil. So I'll just do it like this. Does he need a nose? I kind of think he needs a nose. Let's do like that. I think that's looking pretty good. I want to make this eye bigger. I'll show you guys before I cut it. I think he does need a pupil here. No, maybe he looks better without it. That's fine. I just cut out the whole thing. Well, this is a very basic... These are very basic shapes. I didn't do anything too fancy with them. But you can see this is what I'm going for here. I think it looks pretty appropriately lopsided for how weird his shape is. Now my tools. I'll put that right there. Let's get started on... I never cleaned these off after last year, did I? I remember I meant to. I set them aside at one point. Take care! Let me see, who is this? I have to squint really hard. Oh, it's Play It Loud! Okay, take care, have fun. Have a good night. I wish you safety and luck on this hollowest of nights. Come on, get in there. There we go. The first incision. Come on. And it's coming soon. I'm going to be able to sniff the inside of this pumpkin, which is my favorite part of the whole process. I love getting to smell. The smell of pumpkin guts, getting to take a big whiff of that is my favorite part of the Halloween experience and my highlight for the whole year. When everything else in my life is falling apart, at least I still have pumpkin smell. Maybe one day I'll lose my nose. I'll get like a golden nose like Tycho Brahe, and I won't be able to smell pumpkins anymore. And that would stink. That'd be no fun. Hopefully not. Go. Here it comes. Here's the goo. You guys ready for the goo? Oh, no goo. But it smells nice though. This is a nice thick pumpkin. What a rind. Could probably get a lot of food out of this thing. Oh, come on. Jeez, I can't carve this out. There we go. Oh, damn. That's the smell. That's the smell. No, the spooky bowl, I'm going to have treats in it. This is just going to be a regular mixing bowl. This year, I want to keep my pumpkin seeds to make for a snack. Dee Dee is going to be actually spending Halloween with me. Usually he doesn't get to. And so I want to try to make it as festive as possible this year. I'm gonna indulge in a whole bunch of fun Halloween activities, of which I think roasting pumpkin seeds is a pretty good one. There we go. All these solid bits I'm going to put in a bag, but the seeds I'm going to hold on to. They're going to get rinsed out in the sink, and then I'll roast them. I think I need my scooper. I'm just reading the chat for a sec. Yeah, sorry about that real time. I gotta change my notification message because I haven't been playing Pikmin in a really long time anyway. I have been playing Okagi Shadow King on the Saturday streams, of which there will be one tomorrow, and you guys can come by and watch. But I finished Pikmin like a month ago or something. Yeah, looks like it's still going. Okay, I thought The music stopped. It looks fine to me. That's a lot of seeds. We'll be eating good tonight. So can I grab it? Look at that. That's a big load of seeds. Pumpkin guts are weird. I don't know why they're shaped that way. God damn, do they smell good though. Some more, because there's a lot of them down at the bottom. You can see that. I hope you guys are carving your own pumpkins. Got to do what we can to keep all these traditions going. Especially as stuff gets priced out, things become more expensive. We got to find ways to make up for it. You don't have to carve pumpkins, as you may have heard. You can carve turnips, as per the old ways. You can carve like potatoes. You could carve any vegetable, really. Pumpkins are lovely, and I love pumpkins. But I can afford to get pumpkins. Maybe you can't. They're also very large and heavy, and getting a hold of them is kind of like an ordeal every year. All right, cool. That one came out relatively clean. I'm going to give it a once over anyway. And scrape the insides to get rid of some of the goo, but it's basically ready to just carve the face immediately. There's not a whole lot of strings inside or anything. I've always wanted Dee Dee to carve a pumpkin with me. I'm hoping maybe next year. We'll see. Right now he's busy working. He's working on stuff for the website because we want to have that up by the end of the year. Since YouTube is falling apart as well, that's not a super viable option for the future. We want to be able to make sure that you guys have a place to come and watch things. It's not going to be bogged down by... It's not going to be bogged down by ads. There's not going to be like gross supremacist propaganda and stuff like that. This is an incredibly thick rind on this pumpkin. Even if I wanted to try to shave it down, it would probably take forever, so I'm not going to do that right now. But I can see this thing. If I wanted to take a big chomp out of this pumpkin, I would not be able to reach the other side. It's going to be a hell of a year between now and next Halloween. I'm going to be working on Trick or Treat all year. As I was already this year, but even more so. Who knows where the internet's going to be by next year? Who knows what our living situation is going to be by next year? Things are really crazy right now. And they may be crazy for a very long time. I hope not. But I'm doing my best to savor this Halloween while we can still celebrate it in the traditional manner. In general, I've been doing a lot this season to kind of like divest from where the internet is at these days. It feels a lot like a lost cause at this point. I'm glad that so many people are fighting to try to preserve good things. But it seems like the powers that be are very, very invested in making sure that doesn't happen. And I know that my attitude of like trying to break away from mainstream culture is obviously a minority attitude. Most people are not going to agree. But I'm very displeased with where culture is at these days, and I'm hoping that I can manage to find an escape from it. Ouch. Got some under my fingernail. Big fat lump in there. Can I get it out yet? Let's see if I can. Go ahead and put that here. There are some seeds in there, but most of it is just, you know, gunk. And it's not going to be worth sifting through that for like 10 seeds. Hopefully, if they go to a landfill or something, maybe they can grow there. That would be nice. Okay, so that's good. I think I've scraped out all the mess inside. Now I'm going to start on carving the face out. And then that's pretty quickly pumpkin number 1 done. My claws, I'm really happy that my claws... This one, I think you could see this one broke like a week ago. Usually my fingernails break. I try to lengthen them as much as I can coming up to Halloween, but usually in previous years they would always break like just a couple of days before Halloween, and at least most of them are pretty pointy. Although I'm sad that I ran out of my black my black nail polish is what you call it. I kept wanting to say finger paint, and I was like, that's not correct. I ran out of my black nail polish, which Halloween is the only time that I can wear my black nail polish and have it be like culturally appropriate at least. So I'll have to try to be prepared next year. This year I've been incredibly busy in general. I didn't have my nail polish ready. I didn't have my little Halloween hat ready. I didn't really have a lot of time to prepare this year. But we managed to make it anyway. And that's a blessing to be pleased with, to be happy about. Oh, I accidentally like cut myself all the time. Sometimes I wake up in the morning with like cuts on my arms and stuff. Because obviously you can't be as careful when you're sleeping. Usually it's like, you know, alongside that as you move in the night or whatever, there'll be cuts along the sides of my fingers, but they're very small. You disinfect it. For me, having the claws there is like enough that to me it's worth it. It's not just for spooky effect. The spooky effect is there, but actually probably the biggest reason for me to have them is I like to stim with them. I like to, like, you know, I like to play with them while I'm doing stuff. It feels nice, or to, like, maybe sometimes I'll be like watching TV and going like this. There's more than one reason for me to have them. Hi, no, Diggly, I started relatively, let me see, does it say how long I've been going? I think, like, yeah, barely even a half hour. I've never timed it to go to actually predict, like, how long does it take for me to carve a pumpkin. There are years when I may have taken note of it because I was rushing to get them done in time. But I never, like, fully committed. Oh boy, look at that. The thing is glowing. The sunlight is coming through the window in just the right way that it's reflecting off of the pumpkin. Usually I don't carve this early in the day. Usually I try to get started in the evening. But as I mentioned before, I'm sick of trick-or-treaters showing up before my pumpkins are carved. And so I wanted to get them done early this year. There we go. I hope that it's not too inconvenient for you guys. Because part of the reason I do these streams is I want to encourage other people to take part in the festivities to carve their own pumpkins, or at least enjoy the process of seeing one carved. But I realize that doing it so early in the day, especially on a weekday, might make it a little bit difficult for you guys. At least this stream will stay up. I always leave my pumpkin carving streams up, because they're a special one day a year occasion. So you can watch this later. I'm sure a lot of people are watching this later. But of course, there's a certain magic that comes with being there for a stream while it's live. Imagine what it was like. I remember these things, these specific types of pumpkin tools being around for a very long time, at least since I was a child. I would assume they probably come from like 70s or 80s or something. But imagine what it was like when you just had to carve with a kitchen knife. It's probably rather dangerous. Hurry up and go to bed and cover up your woolly head. The boogeyman is here. Don't you never let him get you from your mammy's door, 'cause mammy loves you so. Get you run and don't look back until you get to Patty Shack, the boogeyman. Yep, Halloween. Halloween is even faster than Christmas is. At least Christmas Eve and Christmas morning are almost like distinct holidays. But yeah, Halloween is just night. Halloween, at least, like, you can do things in the time going up to it, and I think that's why people enjoy considering the whole month to be Halloween. But, like, depending on what festivities that you're doing and what your availability is, Halloween might only last like 6 hours for you. It makes it kind of mysterious in a way. Already as a tradition, it's there for its liminality, in the literal sense, where it's about being between two things. So it kind of makes sense that it's almost gone before you even really get used to it. But of course, I do love Halloween. It's my favorite thing. And it is always sad when it's over. I try to lean into that mysteriousness of it. I always try to take down all my Halloween decorations, uh, like either after the Halloween festivities are done or like the next morning, because I like the sort of magical quality of like, oh, everything was decorated last night, but now all of a sudden it's back to normal. I think that's fun. There will probably always be a desire in me to like see Halloween last forever, but it can't. And in fact, that's in large part that's what Trigger Treat is about. You guys are gonna see when it's done. I hope I hope you guys like it. Come on by the game dev streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Wan Dev on Twitch. And you can see me do animations for that. So if you want Halloween to last all year round, believe me, I'm gonna be drawing Halloween shit for an entire additional year and probably a little bit afterwards. Because just making the game itself is not the whole thing. I also need to make like promo materials and trailers and stuff like that. The world, what is your name? Oh, it's Timmy. Hi, Timmy. Timmy the turtle. Welcome back. The world is constantly spooky. You just have to know where to look. There's spooky things about everything. Everything has like a dark side to it. What I like about Halloween is that that's when you're allowed to point it out. Because for the rest of the year, people don't like to talk about it. But on Halloween, you get to say, hey guys, did you know we're all gonna die one day? And if they try to be like, no, oh, you can be like, it's Halloween. You don't get to say that I can't say that. Okay, that should be the whole mouth, but it's not. It's not coming out. I can tell it wants to. Where did I miss it? Okay, I gotta be careful. I don't want to accidentally break this thing by leaning on it too hard. It looks like somewhere around here. Yeah, really weird. I don't understand. Do I need to push outwards? Is that maybe what the difficulty I'm running into? No, that's not doing it either. We do. It's true, but Dia de los Muertos has a different vibe to it. Dia de los Muertos is more about just accepting that we're all gonna die and that it's not really that big of a deal. The imagery is about usually like, hey, dead people are kind of just like us, and aren't we just kind of like dead people? And it's about like the nature and beauty of that, as opposed to being like, oh God, how horrible. I don't know why it doesn't want to come out. What did I miss here? Okay, that one's working a little bit better. I think partially this thing is so darn thick that it seems like I didn't cut all the way through in some spots. So this is probably one of them, this corner right here. Mm. Did I lose weight? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so, but I haven't weighed myself in a really long time. I'm definitely just getting older. I've been watching, especially this year, as like my face starts to change a little bit. Oh my god. How long do I have to spend on this? This pumpkin is being very, very obstinate. I'm going to take that as a good sign. And hope that it's not just that he dislikes the face I've given him. I'm gonna hope that this is just a pumpkin with a particularly strong force of will. There we go. He's almost there. Come on now. There we go. I finally got it. It's still attached around here. And then I assume I need to do the bottom. I'm a little bit disappointed that this is slowing me down. I want to be able to get those other pumpkins done. Especially because I forgot to grab my phone. I have no clue what time it is. And I don't want to run overtime here. Yeah, that's like cut all the way through. I can tell. You can even see the light coming through. Is that it? Yeah, that did it. Oh, fuck. You know what? This may have been a mistake. The mouth is so big, I can't get it out the head. I'm not sure if I can do this. Yeah, this is... Okay. I'm gonna need to, like, cut it into smaller pieces from inside. And I don't think I've ever done this before. Good challenge. Maybe if I get this thing out, that'll help. Does that let me do it? No. I'm gonna have to cut it. That's very interesting. I don't think I've ever had to do this before. Just give me one sec. I think it's a good idea to keep paper nearby when you're cutting these, because if you have to grip the knife, you don't want it to come loose in your hand, no matter what type of knife you're using. I have cut myself with one of these before. You don't want slippery hands. That'll do it. Yeah. There we go. Now I can get these bits out. There we go. There you go. Now he's got a big, nice, gaping mouth. I'm just going to clean up these bits in here. I like, there's a little bit of dangly bit inside that I don't think I'll be able to show you. The contrast is probably not good enough on this webcam. But he's got like a nice like gooey strand dangling, which is going to help make him look a little bit more ghoulish. How many of you guys have had goulash? I've never had goulash. I wonder if it would be any good. And I have not checked on the webcam in a while. Can you guys see properly? It looks like it's still a little bright from the sunlight, but I think it's okay. Goulash is good with sour cream. I believe you. Widen this a little bit, make his mouth look a little bit more gapey.
There's a breeze like sandalwood and wine. Strange enchantment lies in your eyes.
Let's get these eyeballs out of the way. I'm really struggling with, whenever I do almond eyes like this, I always want to give it pointy eyelashes. And I'm really struggling with it because I don't want this pumpkin to look pretty. This pumpkin is supposed to look scary. Still adjusting this mouth. A lot of problems coming from this pumpkin having such a thick rind. Probably very, very good if you were going to make food out of it, because you'd get so much meat. It's been a little problematic for carving. Yeah, that guy looks good. I'm happy with him. Okay, let's do this nose now. Hopefully the nose will be, as a simple triangle, a little bit easier to pop out than the mouth was. It can be a good idea to overshoot your cut when you're doing a line, but that can also, you have to plan well for it, because it can compromise the structural integrity of your pumpkin, and then it can droop and fall apart. Sometimes it can't hold itself up under its own weight if you try to do something too fancy with it. And I've had to learn that over the years. I still keep a record of every pumpkin that I've carved, at least since, I don't know, like, I think the oldest one I have in my collection is 2006. Which may be older than some of you guys watching the stream, which is kind of a creepy thought. But I've never posted a lot of them online. Some of them I have, some of them I haven't. Some of them are not around anymore. They would have been like on my old DeviantArt or something like that. Maybe when I get the website up, I can like dedicate a page to all my past pumpkins or something like that. Because it's been many, many years now. I'm 62. I wouldn't. I probably do have ones that I like a lot, but I wouldn't remember them offhand. I would need to. There's been so many that I would need to. Where's the? I'm going to use this thing that you could use for heavy duty scraping. I don't remember them all offhand. I would need to like go and look at them all. Gotta be careful. I don't want to break his teeth. Try doing it like this instead. I'm scraping a little bit off the bottom because there's too big of a bump, and the candle needs to be able to sit securely. I don't want it to be rattling around and be a fire hazard. I still use tea light candles. A lot of people use electronic stuff to light their pumpkins, but I don't think they look very good. I think you need the flicker. You need the flicker of an actual like fire light source. So good. Pumpkins are awesome. One little seed that I will later devour. Yes, as Butch Bastard says, be careful being like a young person on the internet. It's very easy to get taken advantage of. I bet you think that you'll be able to outsmart it, but I guarantee you a lot of bad folks are out there. I don't think young teenagers are going to be able to get me. But I also recognize that I can't stop you guys from sneaking in everywhere. That's partially what being young is about. So while I do discourage you from hanging out, obviously you guys are getting to an age where you're going to start making your own decisions. I didn't see, I'm just going based off of what Butch Bastard was saying. They seem to indicate that a lot of people were saying they were young in chat. When I was a teenager, I did not relate to the teenagers around me. And I would imagine that problem has probably just gotten worse over the years because culture continued to change as I grew older, and I was already like, I'm not into this. I've never tried doing the like scraping thing. I'm not particularly into it. I really like the stark contrast of, okay, there is pumpkin or there is not pumpkin, and that's how you carve a face. But I know I've definitely seen that people can do really, really impressive things with shaving the surface of a pumpkin. I've just never tried to do it. See, and that one just pops right out. It's not that simple. Oh boy, I don't know if we could have that conversation is a big conversation. It would require a lot of explanation. It's not. It's really not just. Oh, it's lame. It's that's an aesthetic argument. I'm trying to make a practical argument, especially online. As of this last decade, online creators are like they are really really likely to be trying to take advantage of people who are young and naive. They don't know the world yet, and so they're gonna try to they're gonna try to take advantage of you, not just in the obvious way where it's like, oh, predators or whatever. They're also being predatory in ideological ways. They're going to be trying to convince you of political takes and things like that. uh, a lot of online creators are like they're there because they want the power of having a bunch of people that they can control. There's like a lot of weird stuff that is not immediately obvious and is in fact like deliberately hidden so that they can trick you. Especially when it comes to like a lot of stuff is going to come from like you're growing up and you think that you have figured everything out, and so you're like, oh, these people talk. This is the thing I went through too. Oh, they just they say it like it is. They're willing to be honest, and they'll say swears and stuff like that, and it's a trick to get them to relate to you. The other way, to get you to relate to them, so that they can put you in dangerous situations. And not just like the basic like sexual thing that people want to fuck you. There's like lots of other stuff that's partially why I'm like, I don't think I want young people around, because it's just like I can't really explain to you. You have to go through life in order to figure out all these different social dynamics. The fact that I didn't get to catch your screen name, but if you're thinking of it as just like popular things are lame, it's like, oh my god, you poor baby, you don't know anything yet. I know that you feel like you do. That's what being a teenager is about, because historically, in the olden days, that was probably the prime of your life. If you were like living in the Middle Ages or something like that, you were probably going to die relatively young, and being 18 was probably like the strongest you were going to be. It makes sense that in a historical way that would be like that's your coming of age. That's why fairy tales are always like, oh, the youth went out to seek his fortune. Everybody always talks about like, did you know that in the old days people would get married when they were like 12? And then you would have to go into, okay, but like, who are we talking about getting married? Are you talking about the young girl who had to get married to like a 30-year-old man? Because to them it was about control over having like, ownership of a woman. There's a lot of subtlety to it that I would assume that you're not prepared for. Oh dear, I think a donation just went by, but I didn't get to see it. know, this one's loose. It's just, oh man, I shouldn't have done it. I just broke it. Oh well. It's a very small break. So this is why I was talking about needing to be careful. I think I should have pushed outwards. You can see. I don't know if is it showing up on webcam? There's a little break right here now. It's a relatively small one. Luckily, I'm carving this on Halloween, and people are probably not going to notice, but your pumpkin is going to change shape. The more time that it's out there, it's going to start to get droopy and soft. And breaks will 100% show up. Even probably by the end of the night, you're going to start to see that edge starting to curl inward. They get like this puffy look because the skin curls inwards. And it makes your pumpkin look dumb. It's not unstable. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay structurally because it's a very small break, you can see right here, and it's also the way that the weight is distributed, they're pushing into each other. So I think it's going to stay solid, but as I said, the problem is that the edges are going to like curl inwards as the night progresses, and that's what's going to make it look gross. But hopefully by that point, all the trick-or-treating will be done. And I won't really have a chance to look gross. Well, I think that's one pumpkin done. Because of the way the light is, it's kind of hard to show it off. But I'll take pictures and everything. In previous years, I used to... Oh, I got to put a notch in this. In previous years, I would light the pumpkin and show stream how it was going, but it's so bright in here. And I also want to save time. I don't want to have to go to the other room and get my candles and light it and everything. Let's put it back here. Looks like the best spot. Basically right. You want to leave a vent in your pumpkin for several reasons. Helps your candle to stay lit. Stuff like that. Some, I don't think this pumpkin carving kit has one, but some of them have a... Somebody asked, how would you carve a pupil? So a space like this, like you would put it right here in the middle or something. Some pumpkin carving kits have this little drill that would be like of the same kind of plastic as this stuff. That allow you to... both for stuff like that, if you just want a perfectly round hole, but also they can help you to get the carving started so that you have somewhere to stick this knife. Here. That way I don't have to get up. Yeah, pumpkin shit all over me. There's like pumpkin dust. Dancing with the devil, oh, you little devil, dancing at the devil's ball. The devil's toy ma was standing at the bar, conversing with the little fellow who first put the pain in champagne wine. They were pouring it out. Adjusting that. I bought a round of ice. A corkscrew? No, I don't think a corkscrew would do it because a corkscrew the way that a corkscrew works is it's got enough space in the spiral so that it's meant to hook. It's meant to hook into things and hold on to them. It wouldn't quite be the same thing as something that's designed to make a hole. If it was designed to make a hole, then it wouldn't be able to remove corks. The whole point of a corkscrew is, I don't know how I can like, because you kind of need like a full three-dimensional thing. I don't think it would work. Okay, next pumpkin. I probably should have grabbed my phone. How am I doing for time? It's getting fairly late, so I'm going to have to try to speed this up. As usual, I feel like I say the same thing every year. There we go. Okay. This guy is pretty round. I'm going to save that sticker for later. No, I don't want to put it on that one. I'm going to put it on something. It's going to be a different one. There we go. I've heard people say that a lot. I can't read your name. It's too long and I don't have my glasses. I've heard people say that they find pumpkin guts really disgusting. I think they're fine. Like, it doesn't bug me. It's just plant goo. If it's rotten, that's when I would feel like grossed out by it. And I think last year, I carved a pumpkin that was rotten inside. And that was pretty gross because you can get sick off of that. For me, the grossness of things is usually related to like, is somebody gonna get sick? Is this like life-threatening or not? And pumpkin goop is definitely not life-threatening on its own. I guess if you like stuff your airways with it or something, but I'm gonna guess that you probably were not doing that. Want to take a look, you find an old caretaker there. When you step inside, he tells a tale of ghosts that whine and wail. Around and round about the place at night. Because I didn't know it was rotten. There had been like a crack in it or something like that to allow, mold and stuff to get inside, but it looked like it was fine on the surface. And I still carved it and used it. Yeah, this is definitely where a face would go. But what kind of face do you want? This guy should probably look a little bit more explicitly mean. Every night when you dim the light, you can hear the bogey wail. It wasn't as far rotten as it could be. If the entire pumpkin was like mushy, then no, obviously you couldn't carve it. But it looked like totally solid on the outside and there was just like mold on the inside. Yeah, what kind of face do you It's a bit of an awkward shape. Maybe a big frown? No. And if so, not like that. Teeth. Yeah. You need teeth. You're gonna go like that. Maybe like particularly long teeth. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I think he looks better without him. Trying to figure out if he needs a nose. Yes, there we go. Pretty good. I'm happy with that one. Alright. Forgot. This thing is balanced on a bucket. I cannot roll it. It needs to stay in one spot. So you can see I'm delineating where I want the teeth to go. I don't think I've done a toothy pumpkin in a very long time. At least not with these like big squirty teeth is what I mean. Make them look a little bit jaggedy. If I had thought ahead, I should have thought ahead that one of them could be a pointy tooth. Maybe I'll do that on the next pumpkin instead. I am very happy with this face. I think he's gonna look really gnarly. I have them all done. I'll show you the face. If it maybe I need to close that blind. Yeah, you guys aren't going to be able to see anything. I'll be right back in 1 second. You guys can look at my Pac-Man pillow again. You know, that's the most exciting part of the stream for you. Listen to that awful moan, I guess you better run on home. Hurry up and go to bed and cover up your woolly head. The boogeyman is here. Don't you never let him get you from your mammy's door, 'cause mammy loves you so. Yes, you run and don't look back until you get to Patty Shack. The boogeyman is here. I was joking. I was joking. The Pac-Man pillow is not interested. Oh, yeah, but I was going to show you the face. Here's the face I got. And I think that's going to look pretty intense. Because I actually have it done. Good idea to do this at an angle when you're carving the lid, because that keeps the lid from falling down whenever it needs to be replaced. Oh no, you're getting banned. GTFO. Oh, too bad. I think I picked the wrong one. Well, try me again. You will get no mercy. That definitely explains if there's more teenagers than usual in chat today. Unfortunate. But as I said, there's darkness in everything. Be prepared for when bad things happen. I think it chose the wrong option. There's like every website calls it a different thing. I think on YouTube it says like remove from channel or something like that. And this one said, when I right clicked, it said remove from restream, which might just be the chat that I'm seeing here as opposed to the actual YouTube chat. And they might have gotten through, but like I said, these kinds of people tend to keep pushing it. And I'll probably get a chance to catch them again soon. Can't you just carve without hollowing out? I think it would be harder because I would have to reach in and get out all the pieces, and there would be stuff in the way. Thank you for the donation. I'm sorry I can't. This is not a good stream for donations. I appreciate it, but I'm not looking at the chat very much, and so I'm gonna miss a lot of them. I think I missed several. I saw one earlier that scrolled off screen before I could read it. So thank you, but you probably want to come back on a different stream when we're playing a game or something like that. Because this is a very hands-on activity, and I can't see where things are at in chat a lot of the time. Plus, like, it means that I gotta look over here, which is like really awkward. That's just like visually unpleasant. Yeah, there you go. Some more seeds. I'll cut those off really quickly. And then I'll get rid of the chunk. There we go. Toilet paper rolled away. Yes, only one hand has the long nails. This hand, I would try to grow long nails, but it tends to break off because this is my dominant hand and I use it to grab things and stuff. It just tends to break off. This one is my left hand, which is that's my favorite direction anyway. I like left because it's not right. And I like that. If I had I was mentioning earlier, I've run out of black nail polish. I would have done black on this hand and left this one unpainted. I always liked that it gives the impression of like being halfway into transforming into a werewolf. I am very hairy, as you may have noticed. So there's like a few levels of meaning to it. And also some practicality. Some things that, as I mentioned earlier, some things are aesthetic, some things are practical. I don't like I don't like relying on aesthetic arguments. So one of the things that would have been said that we kind of touched on earlier, with that one person was mentioning the idea of like, oh, mainstream stuff is lame. You could say that about, for example, like, okay, when people talk about selling out is lame. Okay, but why? You find it unpleasant. That's the aesthetic argument. It makes you mad, or it makes you disappointed or something, but it's a good idea to be able to explain why. What are the reasons? Because it gives the impression to other people that money is the thing that matters most in life. Because probably in the act of selling out, you probably screwed people over, that kind of thing. Selling out as an idea should be bad because of what it actually does, as opposed to just it being arbitrarily named as a bad thing. And you can take that even farther. What kind of ripple effects even come off of that? That's what I like to do when I'm making an argument, is talk about what are the practical results of this happening, as opposed to it just being icky because I said so. Kind of, you know what, this kind of relates to the pumpkin guts discussion. That if people feel like pumpkin guts are gross, can you explain why? And you know what? Somebody did. It's still a aesthetic argument. But somebody did say, "Oh, it's about the stringiness of them. It like is icky." And you could talk about then, now that you've pinpointed an actual reason, you could be like, "Okay, why is stringiness gross to you?" Because like I would guess it's something like it the fibrousness of it resembles living like mammal flesh as opposed to plant flesh. It's like it feels more animal than it does plant, something like that. And hey, now that you've made that distinction, now you can work on reminding yourself, oh, but it's not. Like, even though it may trigger that instinct in me to think that it's some kind of animal meat, I can now recognize that it actually isn't. And now I can adjust my attitude as a result. It becomes a lot easier to change the way that you think about things after you examine them more closely. Changing the way you think about things can be a good thing. It used to bother me, but I think it still bothers me to a certain degree. I have like a bit of a knee-jerk reaction when I hear somebody has changed their mind. That I'm like, oh, so maybe you weren't so smart to begin with, right? But that can kind of get in the way of progress too. Sometimes changing your mind can be a good thing. You can, for example, if you learned to be less grossed out by pumpkin guts. Some people might describe it as like debilitating. I've met people who have phobias and they're like, no, 100%, I cannot see rat imagery because I have a phobia of rats, as an example. And now they're like, oh, I can't, like, I don't want to go to the big city because what if I see a rat? Well, maybe you want to work on that as part of yourself. You could leave it. But I think a lot of people think about that kind of thing as like integral to their identity and personality. Identity and personality are an illusion in the end because we're all just piles of proteins and stuff and minerals and water. Kind of like pumpkins. This one is a little bit messier inside than the previous one. I have to work a little bit harder to get the insides out. I probably should have shut the window earlier, because I noticed it was changing the light a lot. And it seems like this is a little bit better. It seems like the webcam is expecting this kind of lighting more. The other one I was really happy with, that the whole thing came out in one big solid lump. This one I have to dig around a little bit more. I'm really looking forward to eating these seeds. It's probably going to be really tasty. Oh, but that's... I am starting to get worried about time. The sun is going to start setting relatively soon. Probably, judging by what I can see through the window, it's looking like maybe another... I've got it like another 2 hours. How long has the stream been going? That'll help me to figure it out. It's been about an hour and a half. Scraping. Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to reach in through the mouth. So I might as well do it now.
Like sandalwood and wine. Strange enchantment lies in your
Venom's good. I would recommend, whenever I go to a comic store, I try to see if they have Over the Garden Wall comics. Because I have not read them, but I've heard that a lot of the Over the Garden Wall comics are just adaptations of episodes that they didn't end up making. Over the Garden Wall was originally just supposed to be a whole series, with each episode being slightly more interchangeable. I get the impression that they still wanted to do overarching story elements. But having more episodes to do stuff with means that you have a little bit more time to just dick around and, like, have fun creating ideas. And so I bet some of them are probably really good. Besides that, I don't know. I've always actually had a bit of a problem with comics. I've never found them to be particularly interesting. I certainly don't like superhero stuff, but even other comics, I'm like, I'm not that excited by. The one comic artist that breaks that rule is I really love the work of Jim Woodring. Makes me really excited, and I'm like, I want to read this. I want to read this in a way that no other comic has really grabbed me as hard. There's probably some that I could name if I tried really hard. Just like a thief in the dark. But yeah, like whenever I would go to comic stores, it would be like, okay, Over the Garden Wall comics. There was a very brief, there was a comic that Disney was doing in, like, I want to say the 2010s, that was called Seekers of the Weird, that was based on an unused idea from the Haunted Mansion that I could get into. I had a webcomic called Museum of the Weird, and it was like, it was also attached to the same idea. And so I had like an interest in being like, oh, what did they decide to do with it? I never ran into it in a comic shop. I probably would have wanted to go in on the Invader Zim comics. They were around. I do remember seeing them, but because they were always getting like guest artists to do the art, I was always like, this isn't what I wanted to look at. And I don't think I ever ended up buying any. I remember seeing Adventure Time comics for a really long time. I don't know whether that's still going. I would assume it is. I would always look for Frank, and I would never see Frank. I like Tales from the Crypt for its historical value, both because it's horror, but also because EC Comics was at the center of a very large deal push for censorship in comics at the time. There was like a whole thing. I'm trying to remember what year it would have been. I did a lot of research into it like a decade ago, and now I don't remember a lot of the details. But that was why they created that stamp, the Comics Code Authority that was on like a lot of comics. I don't think anybody cares anymore. But it was like a thing because I've always been interested in taboo art. It was like a whole step in the history of what are you allowed to make and what aren't you, which I'm still kind of struggling with. I used to believe in the idea of being able to just do whatever the fuck art you wanted, because I was like, oh, as long as you make a distinction between fiction and reality, it doesn't matter. And then I got to grow up and I got to see a lot of different cases where it mattered a lot. And so I'm kind of left trying to figure out, peeled my thumbnail back, trying to figure out exactly how to handle this dynamic. And no, you're not going to be able to figure out a solution in today's stream by leaving a comment. It's a huge thing that spans like generations and generations of people. It's not the sort of thing that you're going to be able to answer immediately. But still, EC Comics, like I was saying, was like a huge step in that discussion, in that like overarching discussion. Dee Dee and I have talked a lot about it when we talk about like Midway games and, you know, the Night Trap hearing and Nintendo and all that kind of thing. It's a big deal to me. And so I have an interest in EC Comics as a result of that, because they were like such a big part of that whole thing. I'm glad I don't hopefully I don't get infected, because like I jammed my thumb in there. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't look like I'm bleeding, but I could have gotten pumpkin guck under there. That maybe is going to create an infection later. The Max is a pretty good example of comic stuff. I've never read the Max. I've only ever watched the MTV animation. But Dee Dee has told me that the Max comic is like very, very good, and so I should try it someday. Already, I knew that it was gonna look better once I got these shapes hollowed out. It's already looking pretty striking. I think this is gonna look quite spooky when it's done. No, I've never tried pumpkin ice cream. That sounds great. I think that's part of what is really tasty about pumpkin to me. They mentioned that it's a combination of bitter and sweet. I tend to like bitter flavors. Grapefruit juice is one of my favorite juices. I like dark chocolate more than I like milk chocolate. I enjoy black coffee as well. And pumpkin can be very bitter as well. Especially if you were to just take like a chunk of pumpkin and eat it. I have tasted it. The flavor can be bitter, and it makes sense that if you're trying pumpkin ice cream that they would also lean into that. Which I'm happy to hear because I don't like pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice does not taste like pumpkin, it just tastes like spice to me. Maybe somebody with a more sensitive palate might be able to tell the difference. But to me it just tastes like, okay, you put a ton of cinnamon in this thing. You don't get very much of the pumpkin flavor. And so I'm happy to hear that if there's a pumpkin ice cream, that you get that distinct pumpkin flavor out of it. If you ever come back, not talking, nothing. I thought it was a reference to Homestar Runner, not talking about butter. Nothing but, well, whatever. If you come back, feel free to, you can tell me more about comics. Because I am like undereducated on comics. I remember getting comments when I was younger about like, how can you not like comics? You make comics. How can you not like comics? Just, they tend not to appeal to me. And I could probably use some exposure to more different types of comics. People always told me that I should read Bone. I've never read Bone, for example. Okay, this time, you didn't even spell my name right. Put user, block user on YouTube. There we go. No. Leave. These are all a bunch of straight lines. I think this will be relatively easy to carve out. At least I hope. The triangle teeth on the other guy didn't come out so hot. The shapes I achieved look great, but I mean, in terms of punching the shapes out, it was very difficult to get them to detach from the rest of the body. Oh no. I got over enthusiastic. I made a cut that was way too big. I was just like, I was enjoying the feeling of sawing. I didn't watch what I was doing. I gotta be more careful. It feels really nice. I used to saw when I was a kid. I received, I don't remember if it was Christmas or my birthday or what. I got like like a junior carpentry set. And I really liked sawing wood. Sawing pumpkins is even more fun because they're soft. Pumpkins are not as hard as wood, so they don't take as much work to get through. Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna explain all over again. Short answer is that if I grow out my nails on both hands, they're always breaking on my right hand because I use that for things, for grabbing stuff. The long answer is because it's cool and I like the dichotomy of darkness and light in all things. I think it's compelling. He said it in Splatterhouse. Were you guys there for Splatterhouse? I was like, okay, yeah, I already know that. What are you gonna do with that concept in this game? Oh, nothing. Interesting. Comic strips are a little bit easier, and it's not that I outright. It's not that I outright dislike comics. They just don't grab me. They just like I don't know something about them that doesn't like compel me to read more. I feel like actual word books I want to read more than comics. Which it probably sounds a little bit shocking because at least comics have pictures to look at. But yeah, for whatever, like I remember, for example, I got shown Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and I really liked it. And I was like, oh, I should go and see the rest of the stuff that Jonan did. And then I just never did. It just never happened. I never felt compelled enough to go and find I Feel Sick, I think, is the one that I never. I read Squee, but not I Feel Sick. And I bet it's good. The comic strips, I remember I had a big phase where I was into Garfield when I was like 12 or whatever. Far Side probably around the same time. I have never read all the way through Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes is another one. I don't know. I think something about the episodic nature of them makes them flow a little bit easier for me. You kind of end up with that dynamic where it's you're eating potato chips and you're always like, oh, I'll just have another one. Whereas like I think if it's a long form story, that seems to make it a little bit more difficult for me. Hell, maybe that's why, like, for example, Frank works really well for me. I love, like I said, Jim Woodring, and his work tends to feel a little bit more episodic. I don't remember there being situations where you have to remember things. I think like it was an experiment, right, when he did Fran, and that he was like, I don't like this. I'm not going to do this anymore. For those who don't know, he tried giving Frank a girlfriend for a while and having there be like story related to that. And then like he kind of got displeased with it and ended up ending the arc. I think part of the aversion is probably because superhero comics, I find them like really uninteresting. That's definitely getting to where it's more like, oh, I don't want that. Spit it out. I wouldn't say, at least as far as I know about superhero comics, I probably would not say, oh, this is like harmful or something, or you shouldn't be into it, but it's definitely like, this is not to my taste. I checked my coat and hat and started gazing at the merry crowd who came to witness the show. And I must confess to you, there were many there I knew at the devil's ball. At the devil's ball. I do get it. I mean, that's why I think comics are neat. That's why I would want to make comics because I think it is really cool. You know what? I love the shit out of fucking Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics series. That I was very happy, and I remember reading through those books like multiple times. I don't remember if I still have them, but like the him talking about the relationship between pictures and words, I think was like super super interesting. And I love that there's the potential in that for comics, but I don't tend to see people doing it. Robert Crumb might be another good counterexample of something that I was like really into, but I never ended up getting. I never ended up getting like a big omnibus of it or anything like that. I remember I had. Apparently, some people don't know that Scary Godmother was based on a comic series. I had some Scary Godmother comics for a while, and it was good. I liked those. I thought it was fun. But I don't remember it feeling like a visual treat or anything like that. It's just, okay, this is another method of storytelling. As opposed to like something that really, really takes advantage of the medium. I would want to see more stuff like that. I was very, very taken in. That's where you're getting back into the like taboo art that I was talking about earlier. I was really, really impressed with just the underground comic scene of the 60s and 70s. I thought was really, really impressive. The people wanted to do subversive things with cartooning. But I would have ultimately been most enchanted still if it was like animated. You know what I mean? Cartoons, animated cartoons are probably one of my favorite things, and I love it as an artistic medium, but people don't do it as much for a very obvious reason. Cartoons are fucking expensive and they take a shitload of work. Animated stuff maybe takes the most like energy from all forms of art that I know of. I guess maybe like if you're working with marble and like huge sculptures or something like that, might rival if you're doing like the fucking Sistine Chapel or something like that, and you have to lie on your back for 6 years or whatever. It's probably longer than that. If you told me, it'd probably be like, oh, Michelangelo worked for 20 years, something like that. Then that would be comparable, but most other forms of art do not require that much, whereas animation you kind of have to like dedicate everything to. Unless you want to take a shortcut and not do a good job, which many people have done over the years. But personally, I'm into the idea of like you should strive for excellence. You should try to be incredibly intentioned with your art. That's the kind of art that I like best. And if you ever want to take a look, you'll find an old caretaker there. He tells a tale of ghost that whine and wail. Around and round about the place at night, and this is how he tells his tale. Or hear that bogey wail, up and down the scale, creeping in and out of every room. Bogey wail, what an awful wail. A thing to remember with Robert Crumb is Robert Crumb was not the only underground artist at the time. He was one out of like a big group of people that were all doing similar things. There was a lot of different underground artists at the time. So while he's one of the more famous examples, and I like a lot of the stuff that he did specifically, it's important to remember how a community like that often has a lot of different people comprising it and doing artwork that might end up getting forgotten because they're less famous. Yeah, I think so. At least in the documentary, I remember that's one of the examples of who I'm thinking of. Because, for example, if you only focus on Robert Crumb's artwork, you might think that like the entire underground comic scene needed to be like edgy and angry and negative. And there were people that weren't necessarily doing that as well. But that said, he got divorced like several times, right? He went through like a couple of different partners, so I don't know which one you might be referring to. No, you can ask. I've been talking about it a little bit in bits and pieces throughout the stream. The unfortunate thing about American politics right now is they've forced their way into literally everything. You're not going to be able to avoid talking about American politics in a lot of cases right now. It just comes up. Yeah, things are bad. Things are quite bad. I think the worst thing that I've been seeing so far, there's a lot of stuff people are getting captured and things like that. But what I've been most upset about recently was probably the big announcement with Nvidia that they're doing like they're partnering with the administration to do like a big AI push, and that they were very specific in their press release about like not caring about the effects of climate change and water depletion and stuff like that. And these are issues that are going to impact people for hundreds of years to come. And that's like to me the most horrifying thing. There is, yes, obviously loss of human life. There is like suffering that's going to be right now, but there's also effects that are going to come out of this that are going to make things worse for everybody for a really long time. The issue of water availability is kind of like an issue that's not getting talked about a lot right now, because there's when you can say like, hey, people are suffering in Gaza, or like immigrants in the United States and stuff like that. That's more immediate, and that's about like actual people. So is the water thing. People need water to live, but it's a little bit harder to talk about in a way that catches people's attention. There's been problems with water and industry of who owns water and who has the right to sell water and charge how much they want for water, etc. When that's a thing that everything needs to live, not just humans, but also plants and animals, the entire ecosystem depends on it. And so this AI thing is going to be like a big part of that. It's pretty scary, and not a lot of people feel incentivized to care, which is unfortunate. A lot of people know it's bad, but a lot of people are also like, yeah, it's bad, but there's nothing I can do about it, which is not helping. There's a lot of other people, a great number of people who are just into the stuff that's happening. They like the idea that like that people like me are upset, and that's partially what motivates them to keep supporting it, is because like at least I'm making other people angry, and that's not helping. And I think one of the issues is that it's a pretty huge part of the population. The availability of water is going to impact whether or not we can have pumpkins to carve next year. There's been a lot, I've been seeing a lot of articles about chocolate shortages are still happening. I've been hearing about chocolate shortages for a few years now, but I saw a lot more articles this year specifically talking about how it makes trick-or-treat candy more expensive. So like, yeah, this kind of thing impacts everything. It's in entertainment, it's impacting the food that we need to survive. It's impacting how long it's going to take to like fix things. Deregulation is a huge problem. People are going to get sick from bad food, etc., etc. There's a lot of bad things in the United States. From what I saw with your comment, you were just kind of asking what is the state of things in the U.S. That's cool. I'm glad that you are. Somebody said that they were out of pumpkins when they went to go buy some, and so they got cucumbers. I'm glad. I was actually mentioning that earlier in the stream that I was like, yeah, if you want to carve pumpkins and it's too expensive or something like that, or they're not available, you can carve any vegetable that you want. That's the tradition. Pumpkins are easier to carve because they're large. But it has always been the tradition that you could just carve whatever the fuck. I think I read recently that in some places they would use cabbages. I had always heard the turnip thing. I think everybody knows the turnip thing. But that in someplace in like England or Ireland or something like that, that they would also use cabbages, which I thought was like interesting. And that it even had like some religious significance or something like that. I would need to go and look into it. I don't remember. If you want specifics. No, carving a celery would be a bit tough. But you know what? Maybe you could do it. Give it a try. Finally, I've done the whole mouth. Let's see if I can push it in. Some of it I can. Malcolm and Melvin was fun. Generally speaking, I like the work of Ralph Bakshi. That's probably a little bit more relevant to my interest because he was interested in animation. He wanted to make pictures move. And I like moving pictures best. This one doesn't want to move. How about you? You're moving. But only a little bit. You're probably going to need to go through them again. I don't know it. I don't know anything about it. Dee Dee told me a little bit. But it was just kind of like, it doesn't seem like it matters. We'll see. Memes sometimes hit the mainstream in a way that ends up mattering. Look at what happened to, what's his name from Boys Club? I don't remember his name. But this one strikes me as one that I don't really have to pay close attention to. I would say almost everything from Will Vinton is worth looking at. I don't necessarily agree with the philosophical, like, genesis of like, his pig character I think is dumb. As an idea that he thought it was going to be like his Mickey Mouse. But that said, the cartoons with that character are still funny. I think a lot of Will Vinton stuff is still worth looking at. you caught on? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's over here somewhere. Yeah, there it goes. The pumpkin dust is kind of gross. I don't like that it gets everywhere. It's not gross in and of itself, but when it falls between my legs, it makes me think of like, oh great, I'm gonna like feel this between my toes when I try to sleep tonight. I should probably wash my sheets before going to bed tonight. It's not good to get organic material in a place where you're not going to be able to clean it up later. Not a band. Yes, you can, but you may want to save it for like a private message or something, because I'm not going to remember the band just by the name alone. I need to be able to see something concrete later on that can refresh my memory. Sometimes I will just take screenshots when people recommend me stuff, but I can't do that. I'm sawing a pumpkin right now. We're basically done on this one. So that's 2 pumpkins out of 3. I still got to do one more. If anything, having a little bit of thickness to these teeth, I think, is going to help it to look a little bit more streaking. It creates a busier look, which oftentimes I don't want. Like on the other pumpkin, I didn't want it to look very busy, but I want these teeth to really stand out, and I think that's going to help it. Kind of create the illusion of there being even more teeth. Have you ever not given given, I assume is what you mean to say. Yeah, I've given pumpkins noses. It's just that every design doesn't call for some, and I enjoy designs without noses and with noses. It used to be that I really disliked noses in any character design. And then eventually I started to explore them more, and there are fun noses to do. But I'll show you guys in this. It's one thing. I've heard people talk about cutting pumpkins from the bottom. I personally am just not willing to adjust my procedure. I'm used to doing it this way, and I'm happy to do it this way. But I have heard people say that before. I want to say somebody suggested it last year, during last year's pumpkin stream. I wonder how redundant the conversational points are in these streams. I usually do not go back and watch them. So hopefully I'm not having a lot of the same discussions that I already had last year. Ah, man, I'm gonna miss the smell. I'm almost done already. Go. Carved out my vent. That's another pumpkin done. So you can see he does have a nose. I love this face. I'm really happy with this face. This is a very, very good pumpkin, and I hope he scares a lot of evildoers tonight. That's my goal with this batch of pumpkins. I like I like pumpkins as guardians to help scare away the bad guys. And so this year I'm trying to make some scary looking pumpkins. What we're working on. Yeah, I can talk about that, sure. Right now, we are working on Trick or Treat, which is a Halloween themed game that we started almost exactly 10 years ago. I think it's a couple of months over now. I think it was like in the middle of summer in 2015. And then we put it aside for a while because Dee Dee did a poll on Twitter back in the day, back when he was using Twitter, where he was like, hey, which game do you guys want to see most? Do you want to see Tough Bippy or do you want to see Trick or Treat? And people voted for Tough Bippy. And so we put Trick or Treat aside for a while. I think it needed some time to gestate because neither of us were that happy with how it was coming out. And we needed some time to sharpen our skills. And then we did it. We worked on several other games for a while. And then we decided to pick up Trick or Treat again because we kept running into roadblocks with the other games that we were working on. And the closest game that we were having finished was the rhythm game, which you may have heard about. We were working on that for a couple of years, but then we ran into a problem where it was really hard to get music licensing for the game. And so we were like, okay, we gotta save up money to be able to do that. And for Tough Bippy, I did all the animations for the main character, and then we were like, okay, now that we're far enough into production, we need people to do more characters. We need background art, like environments and stuff like that, and we didn't have enough money to afford that. And so what we landed on was at least Trick or Treat we can probably finish. And so what we're working on right now is that. Dee Dee has finished a game already. He did a puzzle game called Dominoid, which is out on itch.io. You would need to search it up. I can't paste it in chat right now, so you'll have to like go looking on your own. Maybe swing by Dee Dee's Blue Sky. He'll have a link there somewhere. But Trick or Treat is in production right now for its final version. We're going to have a demo of the first level out sometime in the next couple of months, hopefully before the end of the year, Christmas time. And then we're aiming to actually launch it as of next Halloween. So that's where we're at right now. Trick or Treat is a twin stick shooter in the style of like Total Carnage, Smash TV, that kind of thing. There's a lot more. When we first decided to do Trick or Treat, 10 years ago, there weren't as many. There's a lot more now. We've done research, we've looked up, like there's a lot of twin stick shooters out there. But it's gonna be very violent. There's gonna be lots of blood and guts and stuff. And it's about a lot of things that I'm looking forward to showing off. I can't wait to see what people think. But we have to actually finish it first. You can come by and watch me. I've been animating on it all year, but I will be continuing for the rest of next year. Wow! Can you guys hear that? Siren going by. Yeah, I think this finger is going to get infected. It already feels really irritated. Anyway, you can come and see me. You can come and watch me work on animations for Trick or Treat over on When Dev on Twitch. At least as of right now, we're also working on getting a website set up because these mainstream platforms like YouTube and Twitter and even Blue Sky is not really working out great. Things, especially under the political state that we're at in the country, are not very viable. They're going to be very, very centered on pushing what they want you to see and not what we want to do. They're going to be very centered around monetization and things like that. So we're setting up a website that's hopefully also going to be up in the next couple of months, where you won't have to jump around between Twitch and YouTube and Blue Sky and all these different things. It'll just be one location where you can see everything that it is we're working on. Hopefully sooner than later, because I want to be able to give people an alternative. That's when I can. That's where I would say, like, I think being on mainstream internet platforms right now is harmful. I think that it's a bad idea for multiple reasons, for a lot of reasons. You can say wan wan. That's the correct pronunciation. Is to say wan wan. We say wan wan just to be silly, because that was part of the reason that we came up with the name. We wanted to have like a kind of a scheme for our like production group. Trick or Treat demo is not out yet. We're going to be putting it out in the next few months. And but if you're talking about Dominoid already exists. Didi also did. He also did a summer resort pastiche of the Cartoon Network Summer Resort. He did his own like browser game that you can play. So he's done 2 games. But in terms of something that I've done the art direction for and everything, we haven't finished everything. Hopefully sooner. Trick or Treat is planned for Steam. Because it was so long ago that we did it, we already went through the Steam greenlight process. And so it does have a page, and presumably that's where it'll be sold. It's just not ready yet. Okay. Well, I gotta pick a face for you. What do you want? Just like a thief in the dark. Here is now, it's the goal. My back kind of needs to stretch out anyway. I am getting older. Last night I could not find a good sleeping position that wouldn't hurt my back. When midnight shadows fall, I hear that ghost-playing music ball. The page isn't public. You wouldn't be able to add it yet, but we'll let you guys know. There's also an RSS feed, but unfortunately none of this stuff can I link you because I'm like 2 feet from my computer. Just keep an eye out if you're unable to look this stuff up right now. Just keep an eye out, and we will make like more concerted announcements as we get things like the website set up, and then you won't have to worry about like, oh, follow on Blue Sky and follow on YouTube of one of 2 different YouTubes, because we each have our own channel and like all that kind of, all those extra steps. This guy has a really interesting shape. I can't stop looking at it. I don't know what I want to do, but it's a very interesting shape. He's tall. He's also very wide. It's like a flattened kind of square shape. No, I never wanted to pierce my ears. I don't like piercings because I have this is a Julian thing. This is not me condemning anybody who has jewelry or whatever. I personally have like a weird aversion to jewelry. I don't like shiny things touching my body. That the idea of specifically things with like a lot of detail in a small space, like little diamonds or a lot of jewelry tends to have like filigree on it. Even just like rings and stuff. They bug me, they make me feel icky. I can handle it if I need to, I can touch stuff. But it does make me uncomfortable, and so I've never wanted to do that kind of thing. I don't like seeing it on other people either, but obviously it's, especially piercings and stuff, it's meant to be there as an expression of ownership of your own body. You're trying to express your autonomy with it, and so therefore other people can do it. I just like it bothers me. I don't like it, and I can't explain why. It's not it's a really strange instinctual thing There's no like logic behind it. It just makes me feel icky when I see stuff like that. Filigreed spoons. If you've seen like silverware that has like little curly cues and stuff on it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to touch that. Shiny things I'm fine with, but it's got to be like, okay, flat, mirror-like. And luckily, there's a lot of silverware that's like that I can use. No, I wish I had a Victorian mansion. I would love a Victorian mansion, but I know that it's impractical. It would... Oh, I heard the dog barking next door. I hope that doesn't mean trick-or-treaters are... Let me go and check really quick. I'm going to tell Dee Dee that he may need to keep an eye out for trick-or-treaters. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. Sorry for the interruption. I just want to make sure we don't miss something. Okay. Since it seems like it's nearly time, I better bite the bullet on this. I really gotta get started here. What kind of face? Just thinking about the triangular teeth. Squares? Stars? No. I could see spiral. I think I can work with spiral. I already did a jagged mouth. I don't want to do another one. Personally, I liked Smile, but your mileage may vary. It seems to be pretty divisive. Some people really, really dislike it. Some people really like it. At least from what I've seen. Could do an X. It should have a scowl. I don't want to do a smile this year. That, I'm feeling that. Like a bit of a triangle shape. A bit of like an oblong square. And then we could do, yeah, okay. So like... this, and then some sharp teeth. There we go. That's pretty good. Got like a nice snarl there. What do I want to do for eyes? Talked about doing the spiral, so let's do that. I'm gonna give him weirdo eyes. He's got like mutant eyes. He's got an extra eye over here. Do he need a nose? I think he need a nose. Let's give him big, big triangle nose, even with nostrils. I think that does it. I feel like he needs a little something. Maybe can I give him like angry eyebrow? There we go. Yeah, I think that works. I would push him a little bit farther, but I know I'm short on time here. Dee Dee seems like he's going to need help. What can I do here? Something about this eye, I think it needs to be farther over. We don't have any alcohol, though. I usually use alcohol to clean up mistakes. Can I do anything? Let's see if I could do something to add to it. And that might give me what I want. There we go. I think that does it. Okay. Well, since it's getting late, I hope you guys are ready for your Halloween festivities. I hope you've got your pumpkins carved, you got your costumes ready, you got your snacks planned out. Have you picked out movies you're going to watch? Because there ain't much time left. Last chance to smell a pump. I think it smells best when you still have all the seeds and stuff in there. I think it's this webbing, that all that junk that seems to carry the bulk of the smell more so than the rind. I can't get away from a vision that brings intimate glimpses of intimate things. A voice in my heart like a torch singer sings. That sounds like a lot of fun. Bread Doodle, that sounds like a lot of fun. I hope you have a good time out there. That sounds like probably one of the best things you could do for Halloween is dress up like a skeleton and go to a concert. I hope you have a good time. The ceiling is white, but the shadows are black. A ghost in my heart says she'll never come back. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. Come on, get off. There we go.
Dream last night that filled me full of fright. I dreamt that I was with the devil below in his great big.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
I think concerts are a really good idea for Halloween. I remember one year, Dee Dee and I were at a Halloween event, and while we were waiting in line, they had a stage set up for people to watch while they were waiting in line, and they had like one of those. There's like a million of them. Those like kind of like vaguely gothabilly, sort of like um, we're playing punk music and we're all we're spooky themed. They had one of those bands going, and it was probably one of my favorite Halloween experiences. That they had like an entire show going. It was a lot of fun. I agree. I do think Halloween should be a national holiday. Because it's a big problem. That's partially why people don't celebrate. They're too busy with, school or work or whatever. Usually you're busy during a work day. A weekday is what I think I meant to say. It wasn't long before I ordered a fan, and before the break of dawn, I put my overcoat in pawn. And it makes it harder to do things. Especially if you have something to, like, you can't stay up. You got to get some sleep so that you can get back to work tomorrow. Give people a chance. Taking the ticket from the I caught a glimpse of my dancing with the devil. Dancing at the devil's ball. 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 I saw the cute Mrs. Devil so pretty and fat, dressed in a beautiful diamond hat. Abraham, the leader man who led the band last fall. He played the fiddle at the devil's ball. At the devil's ball. In the devil's hall. In the devil's hall. I saw the funniest devil that I ever saw. Taking the ticket from the door. I caught a glimpse of my mother-in-law. Dancing with the devil. Oh, that's the devil. Dancing at the devil's ball. Glad I started early today, considering it's already pretty late right now. And if I had given myself a few more hours, I'd probably be only like halfway through that second pumpkin right now. Oh, there's still another lot more. Same to you. Is that Sexy Shred? I kind of vaguely remember your name. Same to you. I hope you have a good night. As we transition into the winter months of the year. Bottom again. Come on. This one's very stiff. Makes you panicky when you hear that minor moan. Foggy fears make you strain your ears when you're on your own alone at night. Here it comes, near yet it comes, filling every marrow with fright. A sort of sneaking round, a freaking round along to see the moonlight pale. Every night when you dim the light. I should use this thing more. It's actually very effective. I don't think I really used it in previous years. gonna miss that smell. Imagine if you had like 20 people carving pumpkins in the same spot. How strong the smell would be. Oh, damn it. Oh, I hear them. I hear the children's. Hi there, Caption. It's good to see you. Getting close to wrapping up here. I've only got this one pumpkin to carve left, and then I've got to get outside. Time to begin the festivities. So I'm not talking quite as much because I'm focusing on getting this thing done. I hope you guys had a good time tonight. Thank you for joining me. It means a lot. People always show up for the pumpkin carving streams, and I'm happy about that. I want to do what I can to encourage Halloween participation. One of the biggest things that Halloween is for community, to strengthen the bond between us at a time where things are going to be hard. Things are going to be dire quite soon. Obviously, in the metaphorical sense, because Halloween is leading into winter. You're celebrating that you just made a big harvest. But needless to say, the state of the world is pretty dire as well right now. And Halloween is here to help us to come together and celebrate while we still can. One day we will all be dead. We're all going to be Halloween ghosts and skeletons someday. So we should have fun with it while we can. This one's very simple. This one feels like cardboard to cut through. This one is luckily going very, very quickly, and I assume when it comes time to pop this mouth out, it won't be anywhere near as difficult as the first pumpkin. Maybe some pumpkins fight back a little harder against the face that you've given them. Others are willing to take on whatever personality. No, it's caught somewhere. This feels like right about here. This one's clean. Yeah, that one I can feel is pushing through. This corner, and maybe this corner.
Don't you hear that scary?
Loosen it up.
Hear that scary noise? Listen to that awful moan. I guess you better run on home. The boogeyman is here.
Yeah, it's this one over
Hurry up
here.
and go to bed and cover up your woolly head. The boogeyman is here.
There you go. Yeah, I think you can see it's like starting to go inwards now.
Get you run and don't look back until you get to Patty Shack. The boogeyman is here.
makeshift table is starting to tip over. Okay, where are you still stuck? It looks like I got everything. Why don't you want to go? There it goes. Something over here. It's probably not all the way. Up. Dropped it. I don't know. I haven't got an answer for you immediately. I'm sorry. I get worse and worse at that kind of question as time goes on. Personal favorites are I really like 1408, Babadook, Halloween 3, Rocky Horror, Phantom of the Paradise, Videodrome. That's another good one. They Live might be a good pick for this year. When somebody tries to put the glasses on you, do not fight them, because it wastes like a half hour of time. Maybe not a half hour. Several minutes at the very least. I've seen In the Mouth of Madness. It's okay. It's not a personal favorite, but I think it's all right. Oh yeah, I can see the sun starting to go down. I'm very nearly ready though. It won't be much longer. I have not seen Sinners. Wendell and Wild was okay. It definitely didn't wow me, and I'm too used to being wowed by Henry Selick. I've been spoiled. His Coraline and Nightmare Before Christmas are both like top notch. Wendell and Wild was like a B. Nope was very good. I saw Us. I didn't see Get Out. I haven't seen Weapons. Everybody keeps saying that one's really good. Yeah, cool. I was a little bit worried that his nostril was going to break off. wish I could remember more. It's really tough whenever people ask me, like, oh, give me recommendations or what's your favorite so and so. My mind goes blank. There's one I forgot to get.
Until he made the Edmund Ah, yes, he did it long years ago.
Happy Halloween. I'm glad you could make it. I can't read your name, but I can see in big fat letters it says Happy Halloween. Thank you for joining us.
She comes along, King Henry, he's giving him what for. Dad's up, she's going to tell him off for having spilled her gore. And just in case the headsman wants to give her an encore, she has her head tucked underneath her arm. Sometimes gay King Henry gives a spread for all his pals and gals, a ghostly crew. The headsman carves the joint and cuts the bread. Then in comes Anne Boleyn to queer the do. She holds her head up with a wild war whoop, 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 whoop. And Henry says, don't drop it in the soup. With her head tucked underneath her arm, she walks the bloody tower. With her head tucked underneath her arm at the midnight hour. The sentries think that it's a football that she carries in, and when they've had a few, they shout, his army going to win. They think that it's Doc Blanchard instead of poor old Anne Boleyn, with their head tucked underneath their arm. Along the drafty
I can hear more trick-or-treaters out there. That ain't good. Should not have trick-or-treaters without pumpkins. We're nearly done here.
With her head tucked underneath her arm. With her head tucked underneath her arm.
A melody is like a ghost that sneaks around from post to post, a humming. I'm coming, coming.
I hear his laughter.
In the stilly night he sneaks into your very brain and shrieks, I want you. Come on, I'll haunt you.
What is he after?
I'm a musical Mephisto. I'm another Monte Cristo.
I'm trying to hear what Dee Dee is saying. He's talking to the kids out there. I'm so late. I'm mad. I really tried to be on top of things this year. I still wasn't ready. Get out of there. I'm gonna split. You guys should know. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna have time to like do like a proper sign off and say goodbye to everybody and answer questions. I'm gonna go like as soon as I'm done with this eyeball. So I hope you guys have a great Halloween. I hope you have a safe Halloween. I hope nobody gets gotten by any ghoulies. I hope you guys get to eat lots of good food, because that's part of what Halloween is about too. Not just candy, but like I said, celebrating the harvest. It's about there being plenty of food to go around before the winter hits. Have a pizza. Have like, which place is the one that does the pumpkin shaped pizza? It is Friday after all. We always encourage people to get a pizza on Fridays. Everybody have a good night out there.
when the shades of night begin to fall.
Have fun. The most important thing. Hopefully you get a nice spook as well.
Hum a tune, that's him rumbling, that's him stumbling here, him grumbling here.
I hope this works.
I'm that syncopated boogie boot, get away.
I may have boned myself, for lack of a better word.
Oh, that syncopated boogie boot, he's after me, he's after you. Get away, get away, get away. He'll try to tie you with the music cord. And then, oh Lord, he'll yell with me, come along with me, learn my melody. That's your penalty when the shades of night begin to fall. You'll hear him
Shit.
call to one and all. Hum a tune, hum a tune,
Add
hum a
something
tune.
that I know can hold it in place.
That's him rumbling, that's him stumbling here,
Work.
him grumbling here, him mumbling. I'm that syncopated
Yeah, do that. There we go, and then I can get rid of the bulk of it, putting the small part in danger. Oops. The bag is getting real filled up. I'm sorry, childrens. I'm sorry I wasn't ready. It's still way too bright outside. It's part of the problem. Even if I did have my pumpkins ready, you're not going to be able to see the glowing. Do this. Cool. I managed to keep it. It didn't break. I'll show you guys really quick before I go how it came out. But then I really do gotta go. Without fail. Every year. They come before I'm done. Okay. Gonna head out. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Here's the finished pumpkin. You see him? He looks pretty upset. Time to go show him off. See you guys next year. Be safe, everybody. Be well. Enjoy your skin while you still have it. Bye-bye.